First, I would like to talk about my opponent's claim about stress, that you can take it multiple times, but sometimes students stress over other reasons than that. For example, there's a report that came out on March of this year, 1st March, where it says more stress than ever for SAT takers. It said that big tests they're always nerve-wracking, and it says the high-strung world of college admissions is buzzing in the wake of revelations that more than 4,000 SAT exams taken last October were given incorrectly low scores. There's this sort of fear, what if they score the test wrong, a high school junior said. And also, I would like to start with my claims. My first claim is that there's too much on the line when you take the SAT. Taking the SAT, it says that formerly GPA mattered more than the SAT in admissions. By the 90s, at most selective colleges, the SAT was given more weight than the GPA, and the SAT relative importance increased almost everywhere. And this, as recent surveys suggested, this trend is continuing. And the person who said this was Charles Murray, who he used to be a famous advocate for the SAT because when he took it, the SAT is what led him to get accepted into Harvard. And now recently, he has turned against the SAT because he's seen what has become of the SAT. My second claim is that we're being too dependent on the SAT. This is a claim from the Latino Community Development and Public Policy of the University of Massachusetts. They said these kids are going to be low-wage workers unless they take the SAT. These kids are not aware of all the options are sort of left behind. And he's saying that if people don't take the SAT, that they won't get access to a lot of the schools in the United States, and they will be left out of that. Charles Murray also said that the mission of the SAT before was to identify intellectual talent regardless of race, color, creed, money, or geography, and to give that chance of talent to blossom. And that's what happened to him when he got accepted into Harvard. But he said that the SAT was supposed to allow students from small towns and poor neighborhoods and big cities to benefit. But now, recently, the evidence has been overwhelming that the SAT no longer serves a democratizing purpose. Worse, events have conspired to make the SAT a negative force in America. Like I said before, we've become too dependent. In a fourth of states' high schools, less than 60% of seniors took the SAT last year. And those who didn't, it says, cut themselves off from the chance to gain admission in those colleges. And like I said, most colleges, because in the majority of the United States, actually require students to take the SAT. I have a quote here. It says, almost 81% of colleges and universities use the SAT for admission. That is a fact that according to College Board, which is a sponsor of the SAT. My third claim is that the SAT actually is not a good indicator to how good a student will do in school. And it says here, this is what came out in the Washington Post. It says, it is highly unlikely that any mass-administered standardized test could ever be as good as a tool for predicting college performance as students' high school records. An applicant transcript includes data from dozens of classroom tests and other assessments, such as essay and science experiments, which provide a much, much deeper and richer picture of academic preparation and motivation at any one-time exam, particularly one that is based largely on filling in multiple choice bubbles. Also, it says that the SAT provides little information about high school students that is not already provided by their grades and scores on so-called achievement tests. And another example that it doesn't indicate how well you would do in school is by looking at the numbers of 2011 average SAT scores. By looking at the numbers here, females averaged 1491 on the SAT, and males averaged 1513 on the SAT. And it says the poor predictive ability of the SAT becomes particularly apparent when considering the college performance of females. Long-standing gap in scores between males and females of all races show that females on average score 35 to 40 points lower than males on the SAT, but still, they're the ones receiving better high school and college grades. Also, if you consider high school GPA and the SAT, only an additional 0.1% of students' differences are, like, you'll see a difference in the predictability of how well they will perform in school. Here it says that data they analyzed demonstrated that high school records alone to predict would complete a bachelor's degree resulted in 73.4 admission decisions correct, which is, they were looking at based on the admission decision and how well they did during their time in that school, how many times it was correct. And 73.4% of the time, just looking at the high school grades alone, it was better. And then if they took account SAT scores and GPA, it was correct 72.2% of the time. Therefore, just looking at high school grades alone is a better predictor than combining SAT scores. And according to research done by test manufacturers, class rank, and or high school grades, they are all still better predictors of college performance than the SAT one.